And now the next one that we have here is our data cleaning section. So here we're going to look at some different tips and tricks for essentially reorganizing, restructuring, and cleaning our data to get it into the formatting that we want in order to build things off it later on. So here, before we begin, I wanted to point something out. Up at the top, I have included some handy-dandy instructions that we're going to be walking through in this lesson. And now, as you can see, when I scroll down, we can no longer see those instructions. So let's say we want those to stay in place. What we can do is something called freezing our panes. So in order to freeze your panes, the golden rule here is we're going to want to be one row below the area you want to freeze. So I'm just going to highlight here, row 13, and then come up to our view ribbon. And in the Windows segment over here, we have the freeze panes, which, makes sense. In the Windows section, we got the panes, right? And then when we click on this little drop down, as you can see, there are 3 different options. The second one here is to freeze top row, and the third one is freeze burst column. So depending on how your data set up, one of these different presets may work well for you if you have, your column headings or your row headings in that first column or row. Those ones may be good options for you. However, over here, we got a custom order. We want rows 12 and up to stay locked in place. So we can come over and just click our freeze panes button. And now when I scroll down, all of those will stay locked in place. So let's meet the data here that we are going to be working with. In column B, we have our customer names. So we have some mock customer data here. And in column C, we have their locations. And now in front of each city and state, we also have tri-space dash space, which if there's anyone from East Coast United States here, you may recognize that as the tri-state area. So New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. So basically this data was pulled with a region code for the tri-state area. So we have those that we got to work with there. And then we also have our activity types, which you may look at this and notice it seems like an SAP code, and then a dash and a number, which is going to be our invoice number. And we're going to be, separating these out, cleaning them up throughout these different lessons. So first off, in column C, let's say we want to remove the tri-space dash space from all of our different cells down here. So if you ever have instances of the same set of characters that you want to remove, a trick for this is through the find and replace tool. So we're gonna enter it through a way you may be familiar with, is by doing Control F, which you've probably done Control F before if you're ever, looking on the internet and trying to find a particular word, or in any of the other Microsoft products. However, we also have this option here, which is the Replace tab. And when we click on the Replace tab, it gives us a bunch of different options. And the 2 that we're gonna be looking at here are the Find What and the Replace With box. So in Find What is where we can put tri-space dash space, and then inside of the Replace With box, we can leave this blank. So essentially what this will do is it will find each instance of tri-space dash space, and it is going to replace it with nothing. So it's essentially just going to shift our text all the way to the left-hand side of our cell. And now before we go ahead and work this magic, I did want to quickly point out another productivity hack that I use inside of this menu. So have you ever taken a bunch of tables that may be in a custom color? So for example, when I was in corporate, we had a particular shade of blue we always used. And sometimes when I would open it up either on another computer or sometimes even on my own computer, it wouldn't recognize that shade of blue and it would turn all of my tables into black or another color. And let's say you want to go in and replace all the instances of a color with another color, whether it's the fill or formatting type setting, you could go in and replace all of that at once. So essentially replacing formatting using these tools over here. So you can go in and search for a particular color. If I wanted to replace, for example, all the instances here of this magenta with blue, I could go in and do a find and replace on all the cells filled in that exact shade. You got to get the exact shade down, and then put in what I want to replace it with. So that's just another cool one to keep in the back of your mind. And now here, back to our example though, I'm going to just click on this replace all button, and it's going to tell us, hey, we made 99 replacements. Click OK, and now all of those are removed from our cells. And now let's say over here we want to pull our customer cities. So here the format that we're looking at is we have a city, a comma, and then a state abbreviation. So let's say we just want to pull everything to the left of the comma. And we don't want to include the comma either. This is where we can summon Excel's superhero, the flash fill. So here with the flash fill, all we need to do to use it is, let's say I type in Long Beach, click enter. I can now come in here and start typing the second instance. And as you can see, it goes in and suggests what I might want. And this is how the flash fill utilizes Excel's pattern sensing technologies. So Excel was able to see, hey, I saw you typed Long Beach, aka everything to the left of the comma, and I saw you starting to do it again. Is this what you want me to do? Because you got to remember, Excel is really here to help us. Excel is our friend, and it just wants to make things easier for us if we're using it for all its features. So here, if I just click on enter, this will go ahead and flash fill all of our cells by recognizing that pattern. So that's another amazing one to know. The shortcut for this is Control E on a PC, or you can also navigate up to the data ribbon and click on this button here in the data tools section in order to activate the flash fill feature. If you're not seeing that automatically populate over here for you, or maybe you're flash filling across a bunch of different columns, sometimes I'll go in there and just do a little Control E action.